says Carl.
What in the world is that? I mean, they've never seen anything like it. Hey, it's Jason with Denwerks. Got something pretty cool today. 1963 Ford F100. Really cool little truck. I love it, the looks of it. I mean, just look at it down the sides with all the custom cab trim. Just a great old truck for sure. We did a lot of mechanical stuff to it, and it's looking great. It's a fly in and drive it home type of rig. It had been in Eastern Oregon for a long time, and which explains why fairly rust-free truck. So we'll put it up on my lift. We'll show you the inside now. We'll do some driving stuff for you. So anyways, if you want to check us out on our website, it's DENWERKS, Denwerks.com. You can check us out on Facebook and Instagram, hashtag Denwerks. And also, if you have a vehicle that you would like us to help you sell, we don't mind doing that as long as you think like us and don't mind showing the goods and bads in general. So I think this is our 213th auction on Bring a Trailer, I believe, maybe 14th. So we've sold a lot of cars on Bring a Trailer in general. So it's going to be live, no reserve. So we'll just walk around to here. I was going to show you the lights. You can see the marker lights work, the headlights, bright lights, and the blinkers, left and right. I actually like when those marker lights are on. They have really a nice little glow, which looks pretty cool. So the paint, I would imagine it was probably painted, oh, I don't know, probably 15, 20 years ago, but it actually looks good. It does have some chips. It does have a few little scratches, but overall, it's really nice. You look down the sides, very nice and straight. You know, the paint isn't super high quality, but I think they did a nice job. But you will see, and I won't point everything out, but there's a little chipped area here that'd been touched up. Another little spot there. But if you see me point at something, that's what I'm pointing at, is little things. You'll see some little, they're not blisters in the paint, but I think that it needs to be cut and buffed. It's already been buffed, but you'll just see some little tiny imperfections. But if you were to cut it, it would make it look even nicer. But I love it just the way it is right now. You know, it's something you could take to a car show and enjoy for sure. You'll see these two little bolts right there. The previous owner had window washer squirters in here, like modern ones. So one was missing, so we put bolts in it there. Fenders look really nice. There's not any rust or anything like that, especially down in this area. It looks really good. You will see a couple little filler, little pinholes right there and a little filler there. But overall, it looks good in general. Look across the nose here. This one is the deluxe, so it's got the chrome aluminum grille and the chrome down the side. Bumper looks good overall. You know, again, it just has little imperfections just from being driven in general. Walk down the side here. You can hear it runs pretty good, actually. Rev it up a little bit. It's got a 223 inline 6, 3-speed on the column. Look here across the bottom of the door. Looks nice. One little, actually I just knocked that off. I'll put a little touch up on there, but there was one little spot right there. You won't see it when you get it now. They'll touch it up. You can see there's a hole here where a screw would have went, and that probably wasn't a factory hole. They probably got the right clips on it now. Custom cab. You can see a little pitting on the chrome. The chrome is actually, I'm calling it chrome, but it's aluminum. It's got a few little dings and stuff on it in general. You can see the red paint. Someone's repainted it, but overall looks good. Look at the bottom of the cab. Very, very clean. See the bed looks really good. 63 was the last year this bed. It was a carry over from, I think, 1958 or 59. So if you remember, I had a 63 little short box with the same bed on it. Actually, I've had a couple of them on Bring a Trailer. There was a 3/4 ton that I had that I sold maybe a year and a half ago. But overall, looks really good. If you look at the roof, very nice, no dents or anything like that. Again, it has a few little imperfections in the paint, but look at the gutters, very, very nice. We did put a new windshield in it, new windshield gasket, so there is no chips, there is no divots or anything like that. Everything looks good. I love these mirrors, very classy. Rear window looks good. Gun rack, gotta have that. I'll show you this right ahead of time though too. Look at the straw hat, perfect. Actually, when I was a kid growing up, my parents lived on my dad's parents, they had a big huge farm, and one of those was always in a truck for my grandpa's hat. Really nice tires. I think I have a receipt for these for 800 bucks. 2016. You can see there's 4 digits and 16. So these are actually really nice tires, and I would imagine they only look like they have 1,000 or 2,000 miles on them. Back here, the back of the bed looks good. No rust here. Bumper is in good shape. It's just been repainted. Someone put blue dots in it, which is kind of cool when you go around corners. Kind of gives like a purple haze. Let's go ahead and show the lights. We got our tail lights, brake light. Do your brake. That's turn signals. Do your brake lights real fast though. That one, turn it off and do it again. The brake lights are working. That one over there is just a little bit brighter. We might take that out and look at that. And then we also have a reverse spotlight. There's a little toggle switch for that. I actually like those. These look like they're off a tractor. You know, maybe an old Massey Ferguson or a Farmall or something like that. The bed looks really good overall. You know, I believe it had a canopy on it for years. You can see these holes right there. The rails aren't all beat up. You can just look down the rail. You know, there's not even a dent in here actually. Very, very clean. If you look inside here, very nice. I'll take the tailgate down in a little bit here. I'm going to show you the interior, but go ahead and rev it up a little bit. Doesn't blow any smoke. This is called and I don't know the brand of it, but a lot of people will call that a Martin bumper. That was a popular bumper here out in the Northwest. But again, paint looks nice. Overall, you're going to see little chips like I mentioned before, but overall looks great. Back of the cab here looks really good. Some little imperfections there. I wouldn't call those rust bubbles, but they're really minute little things there on the cab. We'll put it on my lift so you can get a better look in general, but go ahead and look at the gutters. You know, usually the gutters on these are just hammered, especially in these seams, but this truck is really solid. These 2 bolts here are for the gun rack, and you'll see a little cable right here. That's so you can lock your gun rack or your gun in there if you want. So again, matching mirrors. This little stopper here, there was another style of mirror you could get that sticks up on a stud here with the mirror there. So it could use new gaskets around the window gaskets, but the front one, like I said, we replaced, and the back one looks good. Again, no rust across the bottom of the fender. Again, you can see a couple little imperfections in general in the paint, but I think a good cut and buff, or just drive it, because it's a nice old truck. So we're gonna go ahead and show you some more stuff. Hey, we're gonna take a look underneath the hood. There's actually a little lever right there. You just pop that. Hopefully I can do it with one hand. Oh, there we go. And you push in. There's a little hook. It's kind of funny to do it with one hand, but I did it. Stock original engine. It is a 223 inline 6. We did a mechanical, we did some mechanical stuff to it. New spark plugs, new gaskets, oil pan gasket, valve cover gasket. You will see the rockers, they look really good. Side cover gasket. A lot of work underneath here in general, and we just did a really nice detail on the motor in general. In the pictures you'll see a different, it's a Wix filter, but it's actually the same filter. I just put a decal on it down there, and when I have it underneath you'll see that the filter for the fuel pump is nice and clean as well. But engine is really clean, runs good. I don't want to give anyone the impression that the motor's rebuilt, but it has been rebuilt in the past just from our inspection on it. I couldn't tell you how many miles, but it runs just as good as it looks in general. We did put new freeze plugs in it. They weren't bad, but I thought, hey, we stripped it down, let's put new ones in there. And I sometimes don't like to paint them. I think it looks kind of cool when you look at it, to be honest with you. Oil bath, air cleaner, all original underneath here. The firewall back there isn't supposed to be black, but we went ahead and painted it black because it looked more like this section up here. I thought I just cleaned it up a little bit better, so I could probably get slapped on the hand or something for doing that, but hey, it's my truck, I can do what I want. So I thought it looked nice, and I would have done it to my own rig too. So, and I do own this one, so because I was talking about consignments earlier. But overall, the other thing we want to look at underneath here is no crinkles, no accidents. I mean, this is an accident-free truck for sure. If you just look up here, it all looks nice. All the original spot welds underneath the hood looks really good. And if you know these trucks, usually the front of the hoods are all rusted out, and it's because there's a double wall back here, and these drains, there wasn't enough of them in the first place, but these drains get clogged and it ends up rusting out your hood. You can see all the original spot welds. Front of the hood looks awesome. So that's the first thing that I look at when I buy a truck like this. New battery as well. And we do have a tie down. We had to make a tie down for it. So why don't we go ahead and start it up and hear it run. This is the original motor. You'll see 6.3 AE, 6.3 AE. If you just want a little short thing about engines in general and Ford, C is for 60, 3 is for 63, and AE is for engine. So anytime you see a C3, that's 63. If you see C5, that's 65. Radiator, you'll see C2TA, this is for only a truck. That's for 62, but if they didn't change the part number for the next year, they use the same one. So we'll go ahead and fire it up now. Runs real smooth. It does shift nice. We did put new brakes all the way around it, new cylinders, new master. So a lot of work went into it. Go ahead and rev it up a little bit. You know, the choke works, everything's working. It's just a great old truck. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and show you some more stuff. Hey, we're gonna take a look at the interior, but first I wanted to show you that the door lock does work. You can see here too how nice the door shuts. And look at the panel gap, it's really nice on the truck. So overall, interior is real stock looking and it looks great. I had a new seat cover made for it. This actually wasn't a kit. I had my upholsterer do it for me, and it looks nice overall. This is actually really rare. The mat has a couple little rips in it, but you cannot get this mat with this logo in it anymore. So this is an original mat in it. You can see a couple little holes right there was a little tiny little console that the guy put in it, but overall looks great. Dash area is really clean. You can see they put a aftermarket vacuum in it that was really popular back in the day, amp meter, and it also has a tach. The tach's not reading correctly, but I don't know why it's not reading correctly, but I know that there's a 6-cylinder and 8-cylinder, and it is on 6-cylinder inside, but something's just not reading correct. You can see it's got an aftermarket water temp and oil pressure. We'll show you those while we're driving it. Pedals actually look really good overall. Miles show 100, well, it shows 15,467. Looking at the pedals, I mean, it could be a 115,000 mile truck in general, but there is some wear here, but these are original, they haven't been replaced. So usually those are all worn out really bad, especially that gas pedal. Look how nice that looks. Heater works, choke works. They did put an aftermarket radio in it, which does work. So, and they did put some speakers in the door. This one came with the option with the zipper pocket. Sometimes you can get them on one side, sometimes on two. So headliner looks really good. You can see the dome light works up there. Overall, these are supposed to have coverings over them, so they're just painted black. But they look good. They're in good shape, so you could have someone put new fabric on them in general. So again, we did the windshield, so it's really clear. And then also, if you look, the door jamb looks good. All the original spot welds are in here, not rusty, no accidents. See all the spot welds there. Everything looks really clean overall. Could use a new rubber gasket around the door. We'll take a picture of that. That's the original tag for the truck in general. So anyways, hopefully that gives you a nice look. You can see the gas tank as well. I'm going to go ahead and show you the windows rolling up. I'll show you the other side, but I'm doing this with one hand and it looks good. You can see here needs some weather strip. So if you got some new weather strip for the doors and around the window felts, that would be a nice add, and have Keegan. Very nice. And one of the reasons I had to buy this truck originally, Bulldog security. I'm going to show you the other side. Just take a quick look inside here again. Look how nice the door shuts. Nice panel gap. Glove box looks great. This is a remote in a little bag for the radio. And the previous guy put these little stars, cowboy theme. So I just left them. You can see inside the jam again. Very clean overall. Again, you know, it's not a perfect paint job. You know, they didn't tape it off perfectly in here, but I don't really care. It's just a great old truck. So, because the body is in such good shape, you know, it wasn't beat up. It just has a lot of stuff going for it. So some of the little imperfections, I'd rather have a really nice truck with a little bit of imperfections than a truck that looks perfect that's got a lot of problems. So I didn't take this sticker off because I loved it. I thought that looked pretty cool on the door. So we'll take pictures of underneath the doors. Maybe you can see them here, but they're actually really clean overall. So really nice old truck. So we'll show you some more stuff. Old F100. It's actually a really nice driving old truck. You can see as we're driving, it's got new tires on it. But you can see the wheels not shaking and doing a lot of crazy stuff overall. It actually feels pretty good driving down the road. 3-speed on the column. I'm going to stop on the brakes here in just a minute. There's a car behind me, so I don't want to freak them out totally. But we'll stop here. I just wanted to show you how nice and straight it stops. So I'm just going to pull over here. Doesn't pull, doesn't do anything, no chatter. Definitely doesn't have power brakes, but it stops nice. You can see the radio is working, and I'm going to show you something real fast. It's got this power antenna. Go ahead and turn that off. You can see the antenna goes down. Hopefully you can see that in the mirror. Gauges are working, but you can see the oil pressure is really nice. Temperature. I'm not sure if this is working or not. This one may not be working because it should be moving a little bit on the amp meter. The vacuum gauge, you can see that's working over there. Fuel gauge. Obviously temp isn't working because that's connected down there. And before I was talking about the, see the tach. I'm more than 1,000 RPMs right now, probably 2,000. It's just not reading correct. Horn doesn't work. Blinkers, they work. You can see there in the dash. And then also take a look here at the bright lights. You can see the red on and off as well. Wipers, and we got our heater. You can hear it. Hopefully you can hear that. And you pull that out. That's for heat. And then temperature. So that's nice. This is heat, and then defrost is what that does. The cigarette lighter, I'll take a look at it, but I know it doesn't work, but I'll check the power out on that for you. And the other thing that I forgot to mention is, see the steering wheel? It's got the original steering wheel, but you can see the hub, the center part. You know, this is all steel inside of it, but you can see it's cracked out a little bit. And those aren't that hard to get, but you could drive it around like this, but very common in general. So hopefully that gives you a good idea, you know, behind the wheel a little bit in general. And we're going to go ahead and show you some more stuff. Oh, one other thing. Sorry, I forgot. See these wing windows? The little lever is missing right there at the back side of it on both sides. So you have to push them out. So you're going to get some wind noise when you're driving around because they're not completely sealed. So it needs new little levers right there. So anyways, adios. Here we are. We're going to take a look at the F100 underneath. As you know, I like to do videos of our rigs so I can poke at things and look at different things and explain it. It's hard to tell sometimes in a photo, especially on a bunch of mechanical stuff, but you're obviously going to see all the still photos and everything like that. But this truck is really clean underneath. Looks really good overall. So we'll just walk around it, start here from the front to the back, and talk about it a little bit. Really clean. You can see here, I-beam suspension. We did put new shocks on it. I'm going to get my flashlight out here. Did put new shocks on it. It's got new cylinders, brakes, everything around. Front cylinder, back cylinder. It's got a new master in it. We did detail the engine. I believe the engine's probably been rebuilt before. You'll see some pictures of the valve cover off, but we put new freeze plugs in it, and we put a new oil pan gasket. We put a new side cover gasket, which I showed you up above when we were looking at it. You can see the gas looks really good, oil change and everything there. New brake hoses. So we obviously flushed the system and everything. Brakes work really good on it. You can see this side too. I was going to look at the date code. I think they were 2011. Look here. Yeah, I don't see it on that one. I can't remember where I saw it. Should have been prepared, but I wasn't. Actually, this is, I was thinking another truck. 2016 DOT, and the 16 at the end there. When it's got 4 digits, that means it's after 2000, but this is 2016 Toyos. And you can see the tread wear is really good overall. You know, no accident damage. Look behind here, up there in the nose. The cowl looks really good. Body mounts, it's not rusty. There. If you saw this little bit of wiring, I'm getting rid of that. They had it fished all the way to the back, so we're putting new wiring in. I think that goes to the reverse, the spotlights back there. So we're going to rewire that. If you look here, back behind here, this looks really nice as well. It has not been hit. You'll see a little bit of rust under the battery box. If that is something you want us to fix, we wouldn't mind doing it. Probably, I don't know, probably $100 if you want us to fix that underneath the battery box. So we just need to weld a piece in, cut that out for you if you want. You can see the body mount looks good. You can see the rubber's a little bit cracked, but you know, no rust here at all. Look at the bottom of the rockers, bottom of the floors, all look really good. This is the footwell. Here you can see the back of the cab, looks nice. You know, this thing was over in eastern Oregon, so it's very, very dry. Over there you can see the drains aren't clogged. Little tiny bubble, a couple little bubbles right there. But the rest of the cab looks really, really good. Muffler looks good. Go ahead and look up here on this, where the footwell is, and this is usually spots where these trucks like to get rusty, but this one's really clean. Drain and everything looks nice. And we'll look at the back of the cab here on this side. You know, so everything's pretty clean. I mean, I haven't seen any accident damage. You know, look inside the bed here. Hasn't been hit. All the supports are there. Take a look at this side. So really good. We put new shocks on it on here on the back. You can see the new cylinder. Also, I was just going to point out too, you see this date 120, you'll see it on the rear end. That means that most of the time we put new gear oil in. You can see 120 here. It's just a date, so you know the last time it's been checked and serviced. So you can see here the one thing that happened here. You can see this. It didn't really hurt it. This tire came off at one point, and it bent the backing plate and the bottom of the brake drum. So it skidded across the ground. It didn't hurt it any, but if that's something you wanted to change down the road, you could, but I wouldn't. I'd leave it. We inspected it. Look back here. Again, it's not rusty. Really clean right back here. Actually, there's a couple little spots there I didn't see. Just because I had that flashlight, you can see a couple little spots back here. And actually, that's not a rust hole there. That's just a thing. But you can see the back of the bed is enclosed. It actually looks good. So again, only that rust, a little bit rust over there. So overall, looks clean. Nice old truck. Mechanically, we just did a lot of stuff to it, you know, so a person can drive it. You know, a lot of things can look pretty sitting in your driveway, but if you can't drive it, it's not no fun. So anyways, this is no reserve. Ask us questions if you like. Make comments. Cool old truck. Happy bidding.